We're going to be kicked off by Mark Thomas, who is the director and founder of Goodhouse. Mark started driving the Goodhouse bus as a vehicle to reach the Holy Grail, architecture that is sustainable and affordable. Mark, in his own time, likes hanging out with his family, traveling, cycling, and doing jobs around the house, and eating good food. Just like us all. So he is a very normal person. In a past life, apparently Mark was always wanting to be a rock star. So this is our chance to see what he is on stage. Mark.
Hi, Mark Thomas, Goodhouse 13. It's in Aldgate. This job started with an email, like most of our jobs. But these clients really wanted us to come and have a look at this site first because it was a bit of a tricky one. So we went on site, have a look at the shape of that guy. West-facing slope, really heavy trees, hardly any solar access, damp, actually I just live up the road, so I'm very familiar with the area. So anyway, we did some feasibility sort of study there, got onto site. The next slide's terrific because it's got some very worried looking clients walking around going, holy, they hadn't bought it at this stage. I've also never moved so quickly when I met their pet red-bellied blacksnake. We did some massing models, and the whole concept of this house is to turn it against the contours, put it up in the trees because that's where the sun is. And that's what we ended up doing with this. They loved the concept, bought the block, and away we went. So back to site, and we had a look at our solar pathfinder and looked at where on site we were going to get the most potential for solar access. And we pulled some string lines around the place and worked out where finished floor levels would potentially be, blah, blah, blah. And then we went ahead and designed the house. So the site plan is actually there. And that's the amount of building that's actually sitting on the ground. The main house is above it. And so you can see here with the floor plan, we've got the lower level here, double carport into a north-facing laundry, best thing in the world in the hills. Good drawing room. A guest bedroom and bathroom, really important part of this brief, overseas parents coming to stay. Upstairs is the house. So you can see it's actually quite modest in size. 3-bedroom, all the wet areas are to the west, near the services, it's very efficient. Cross ventilation is absolutely terrific, as is the passive solar design. The hallway is also something that is dual purpose. It's got a seat and a desk and a spill out area for kids to play, etc., etc. But as you walk out of the dining room onto the deck, you're at natural ground level, which really activates the site. You're not sort of living up on a second level and needing to go downstairs. These are a bunch of images. You can see the model down here that will sort of track these images as well. So we had to cut. And the first stage of this was to do that, which looked a little bit rude to this site, but it actually was really necessary. That's where the cars go, and it's about a 1.82 metre cut. Caulfield concrete block and a big steel frame. And we also use two 20,000 litre concrete rainwater tanks to help retain the wall. So it's dual purpose. That was really a good idea. I thought it was a good idea anyway. This is waffle pod slab on natural ground level going onto a Bondex slab. And there it is, there's a steel structure, and this is our underfloor heating gone in. Underfloor heating in this job, I'll talk about it very briefly in a minute, but it was really, really efficient. Once that slab was down, you can see it's a very, very straightforward and simple build. It's pretty much a rectangle. So we have our 140 stud walls on the outside to get the amount of insulation that we require in our buildings. That's standard Goodhouse. We have our bricks stacked up with our 3 or 4 internal thermal mass walls and a really, really simple standard truss going all the way through. This is our first suspended slab job, or actually no, it's our second, but it's really, really efficient in terms of the underfloor heating / cooling, because we've got insulation running down the sides of the slab as well as the ceiling insulation on the ground level. So essentially we've got a fully insulated heater inside the house. It's always got a good hat. We shade to Equinox, that's our standard. From the back, we allowed ourselves the luxury of a parapet wall and a bit of a box because this site was really, really shady. So we weren't going to have any problems with our western sun. The material, that timber's greying off beautifully now, and that will go silver like the stringy barks. So it's a fairly large volume, but it's actually sitting in the site pretty comfortably as it's sitting on this dark sort of plinth. So we'll just fly around to the north now, down onto natural ground level, which will be landscaped, up into the deck. As we step inside, it becomes furnished with clients, and look at that, there we go. And all the furniture. There's the beautiful thermal mass walls. There's the northern exposure with the sun pouring in onto the slab, of course. Really important elements of the brief being shown here, the wine fridge and double glazed UPVC windows, tilt and turn, etc., etc. So really beautifully appointed and not enormous spaces, but really functional spaces. Natural products, the New Zealand wool carpet and low VOC paints where we can, etc. Bathrooms, that's all standard Goodhouse, tiling to the ceiling, off the shelf, vanities, low water use faucets and toilets, etc. All of that sort of thing is all pretty standard in this one. So it's a really beautiful house that responds well to this particular site. To the kit now, so down on the western side, we have the hot water tank with our Sandon heat pump, COP of 5, 1 kilowatt in, 5 kilowatts of heat out. The hydronic heat pump is there. That is a Technibel, that goes reverse cycle as well, so we can put chilled water through the slab in summer if needed. They won't need it in the hills. They won't need to have any air conditioning here at all. 10 kilowatt battery, 6.6 on the roof, inverter, meter and rainwater pump. So it's an all electric house and we're looking forward to monitoring it over the next 12 months. A little bit about Goodhouse. Standard base price is under 2,000 a square metre. Our seal is around 5 air changes per hour. Goodhouse 16 was 2.32. Insulation is double the code. It's about a 2-year process from sign up to move in. Energy usage is average 1/5 of houses in the local area, and you get a beautiful plush front doormat. So we'll see you on Sunday. Thanks very much.